Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So if you're not familiar with this channel, I tend to build practically all of my projects out of recycled, reclaimed materials such as pallet wood and stuff that I find in bins and skips thrown out, hardware, wood, all that sort of thing, and I try to build things as cheaply as possible. I just find it more satisfying that way as opposed to buying the wood new. And in this video series it's no exception. I'm going to try to build a garden shed of around 6 feet by 4 feet or 183 centimetres by around 122 centimetres in size for my dad's garden. And it's going to be a series going through all the different steps, and it's going to progress over this year. So this is part one, and this is going to be looking at how to build the shed floor base or sub base.
So here is a simple sketch that I made of the shed. Hopefully this is how it's going to look when it's finished. And here is a drawing of the shed base or subframe. It's going to be made in 2 sections and then screwed together in the centre to make one solid floor. This is the wood I found to make the long pieces of the subframe. As you can see, it's full of fixings and screws and dirt, so I had to get all that out and clean it up and remove all of those fixings. I found this on some grass thrown out, so I picked it up, and now you can see it doesn't look too bad. It has a few holes here and there, but it's pretty good. I started off by cutting down one of these 2x3s with the circular saw, using the speed square to guide the cut. Then I clamped up the other 3 2x3s and made another cut. And as you can see, I've already hit a nail here or a screw. This is the problem you get when you're using recycled timber. I could then just check with the speed square to make sure everything was nice and square. Then I used the first piece as a template. I flipped these over so I could cut the other end. And that would leave me with 4 2x3s at the length I need. Some of these 2x3s had some cracks in them and some damage, so I used a screwdriver to open up the cracks so that I could pump in some wood glue and then clamp them up and leave them to dry. Then I had a look in my wood store, and I've got some pallet wood here. I'm going to use this for the noggins and the end pieces. I used an offcut from the 2x3 to get the fence set up so that I could cut this pallet wood to exactly the same depth as the 2x3s. So now I could start marking up these to cut the end pieces. I need 4 end pieces. I cut the first piece on the miter saw, and then I could use that as a template to mark up the rest and get equal cuts. So now I have 4 end pieces and the noggins all there ready to go. So to connect it all together, I've got these ceramic decking screws that I'm going to use. I drilled pilot holes for each joint. I've used 2 screws, and then I could use the impact driver to drive in the screws. Now for the noggins, I just needed to measure up and mark. These are around 36 centimeters on center for the spacing. Then using a mallet, I could just guide them in with a bit of persuasion. Again, using the speed square to make sure everything is nice and level and flush. Then I could flip the frame over and screw in the noggins on the other side. Now that one was done, I could repeat that process for the other one, and now it's time for the finish. So I've got this really old exterior wood stain. I've got just enough to be able to give these both a coat, and this should soak into the wood and offer some protection. So that is the 2 frames made. As you can see, they're in 2 sections, so it's nice and easy for me to get them in the car to take up to my dad's, so that I can then screw them together into one 6x4 base. Okay, so that is about it for part 1 of the shed build. The sub base is complete. In the next video, I'll be moving on to a floor, and then I'll be moving on to putting up the walls. So I hope you join me for that. If you did find this video useful, please like the video and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.